Hello, I am Nicole Chan, and I am a figure skater from Renaissance College. I've been skating for around 9 to 10 years, and one of my biggest accomplishments is from around 2 years ago, where I got silver medalist for Asian Trophy. Today I'd like to share with you guys my figure skating tips, and my number one tip would be to warm up. No matter what you are doing, even from jumps, spins, or just walking around the ice, it is important to warm up to make sure that you don't get injured easily. A lot of times you might pull a muscle or you might accidentally hurt yourself. What I like to do is I like to run around for around 5 minutes, and then I like to do a lot of jumps and stretch to make sure that my body is ready for what I'm about to do on ice. Tip number 2 would be not to expect a lot. Because when you expect a lot from yourself, or when you first get onto the ice and you're like, oh, I want to nail this jump, a lot of times you put a lot of pressure on yourself, and it makes what you're doing even worse, and you kind of end up not enjoying what you're doing. Even though I have a goal, I try not to put too much pressure on myself to be able to achieve it. My third tip is to not avoid falling down. It's kind of weird to say this in figure skating. When you avoid falling down, or if you are really scared of falling down, you fall even more. So I would say sometimes don't view falling as a negative thing. When you fall, just get up and just shrug it off and not make a big deal of it, because if you get really scared of falling, or if you're like, to be good at the sport, I don't fall, then you'll fall even more. So I would say just to embrace the fall. Tip number 4 will be on a spin called the layback. So the layback is a spin that most times girls do. In order to do the spin, you kind of make a C shape with your upper back and your foot that's off the ice. And my tips to doing this would be to try and push your hips out, so then kind of your head and your free leg kind of balances each other out, and to make sure that you're spinning on the ball of your foot and not onto your toe pick or onto your heel. I've had an experience when I was younger where I kind of went on my heel and fell on my head, and it was really scary. When you kind of get the hang of the spin, it comes really easily. Tip number 5 would be on just how to get around the ice rink. So a lot of people, when they first put on their skates, they kind of treat it as like walking normally. And a lot of times when you walk normally on ice, it actually makes you fall over even quicker. We have these toe picks, which we use for jumps. However, a lot of the times people find themselves tripping over them. So the trick here is to stay on the ball of your foot and just push off the ice instead of trying to walk, because that when you try to walk, you kind of get caught in your toe pick and you trip over. A lot of times people ask if I get dizzy when I'm doing a spin, and my answer is always yes, I do get dizzy. And a lot of times, even during competition, even with all the practice and the run-throughs of my program, I still get dizzy, but in that moment I just try to look graceful, but at the same time try to not feel dizzy so I can move on to the next element of my program. If you want to try and do some of the elements that you see other figure skaters doing on like YouTube or something, try not to do them by yourself and try and get a coach to teach you, because some of these movements aren't as easy as they seem. Hope to see you all in the rink one day.